Hey there, partner. Thanks for stopping by. We'll be starting the show real soon, so go ahead and grab some popcorn, stare up into the stars, and imagine the horrors that exist beyond our comprehension. This is Scare by Scare.
Okay, everyone, we're gonna have a good episode. Put your hands in.
Best episode ever.
On
1, 2, 3. Best episode
Best
ever.
episode ever. And the music has faded in.
I didn't do it.
What's up, buttholes? Welcome back to another fantastic episode of Scare by Scare. I'm your lead dipshit, Jobe, and I'm gonna pick it on over to my co-dipshit, Trace.
I was about to take such a big drink of Mountain Dew, and then I felt that energy and knew I would choke and die. Hi, I'm your resident addict, Trace.
Yeah,
wait,
I'm Marshall.
Hey, I'm kicking it over. I'm kicking it over. Alright, I'm kicking it over to Jobe now.
Jobe, please.
What's up?
Kick
It's
some to me. Jobe,
All
please.
right. I see. I'm looking for the forward pass. Oh, there it is.
I'm Marshall, and Trace is actually an addict of Mountain Dew.
It's true. I'm trying to stop.
They did a study on his body because he donated blood, and it came out like lime green. So they're really confused about that. But enough of Trace's bodily fluids. We watched
I'm down to 2 a day.
Tremors this week, featuring Kevin Bacon and others. The little girl from Jurassic Park, she was in Tremors.
Can't believe you refer to Reba McEntire as
The
others.
little girl.
Yeah, Reba McEntire was barely in this movie.
But
She was fine as hell, though.
This was a Jobe pick.
Yeah.
Hello.
Everyone knows.
You can tell.
Before we even get into talking about
Oh
the movie,
my god.
Jobe's gonna like Jobe movie. You can just see he's been trying to get this one on the docket.
Are you even telling me you didn't like this one? Are you seriously gonna come to my fucking birthday party, shit on my goddamn cake, and tell me that Tremors is a bad movie?
I'm not saying it's a bad movie. It was a fun movie. I had a good time. No. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm telling you, it was enjoyable. But as I texted you guys, I was thinking of Dune 2 and Dune 1 the entire time because there's just sandworms. For those in the audience who don't know my day-to-day life, yesterday, me and my wife went and saw Dune 2 in theaters again. And so now I'm thinking I got Worm on the brain, and then Jobe pulls up a movie and says, "Hey, worms." And I'm like, this is just Dune 2, but the American version where they just have shotguns. And it was delightful.
yeah.
I had a great
Yeah,
time. Trace, what were your thoughts on it?
Not
I already
very.
know Trace didn't like it.
I didn't dislike it. It's one of those that, it was fine to watch. It's dated, so not very horrifying. I wasn't horrified, but I enjoyed parts of it. I thought it was pretty funny.
For me, there was a good sense of suspense. I don't know. Only the parts where they're hanging up on top of the houses. Everywhere else, I'm like, there's no way they die off right now, right? But when they're on the houses and it's they have all the minor characters too, and you're like, oh, who's it gonna be? Who's gonna get munched on by Shai Hulud?
Well, it's probably just a bias of my own because me and Jobe do star in this, and it's hey, you don't want to see your own work kind of thing.
That was really funny,
Trace
Trace.
is
Thanks.
projecting onto the main characters.
Yeah, because Jobe and I
Was it Tweedledee and Tweedledum?
Yeah. Jobe's the
Wait,
old
I'm
one.
Kevin Bacon then, right?
No.
Are you sure? Because you're older than me and
Yeah,
grosser.
but I'm faster.
Okay, so to figure this out, we need to get a good Kevin Bacon face. In this movie, Kevin Bacon does a lot of faces where he looks good, and then 1 second he'll just have the most distorted, ugly face I've ever seen in my life. So, all right, Trace, you've just thrown a bomb. Go. That's not good. Jobe, go. All right, that's a little better. It's a perfect tie. Jobe's the top half of Kevin Bacon. Trace, you're the bottom half.
Hey, that's all right. I'm the legs.
Yeah.
On the nose, baby. Anyway, let me give you a quick summary of this here movie. Two fellas, Earl and Val, are planning to leave Perfection, the tiny little town out in the middle of Nevada they've lived in for most of their lives. But as they try to leave, strange things keep occurring. First, they find Edgar up on an electric tower dead, apparently having stayed up there with a rifle until dehydration got to him. Then they come across old Fred's place with his sheep torn to shreds and Fred's head sticking out of the ground dead. The pair rush back to town to alert the others, and they agree to run to the next town over for help, but before they can make it out, a rock slide blocks the only road out of Perfection. When they try to leave, they get caught on something. When they get back and look, they find that a large snake-like creature had latched itself onto their truck's axle, and appears to have been torn off. With their truck out of commission, Earl and Val have to take off on horses, which are quickly murdered by similar large serpents, which are revealed only to be the tendrils of a much larger Dune-esque sandworm creature that we will call Graboids, because that's what the movie calls them after a while. After running away, they trick the Graboid into slamming into some concrete, killing it near instantly. They run into Rhonda, a seismology student studying the weird tremors in the area. The trio make their way back into town. Together, they come up with a plan for escape. They decide that the mountains are going to be their best bet, as these worms are unable to burrow through the granite. One of the Graboids bursts into the local prepper's place, and he gets just violated with bullets. So that leaves two Graboids running around, but they're getting smarter, and they start to figure out that, hey, if we knock over the buildings everyone's hiding on, they have no choice but to get eaten by us. So all the townsfolk hop into a big fuck-off bulldozer and a trailer and start to make their way to the mountains. These Graboids get smart, and they dig a sinkhole that causes the bulldozer to topple over. The townsfolk manage to get one of the Graboids to eat a pipe bomb that the local prepper fashioned up, and it blows up and dies. So they try to get that last Graboid with the same trick, but it wises up and spits the bomb back out. Earl, Val, and Rhonda make a last-ditch effort to kill the last Graboid. They run to the edge of a cliff. They blow up a pipe bomb behind the son of a bitch, which causes it to stampede right off and explode on the ground. And, you know, there's some character stuff that happens, and then the movie's over by then.
Yeah. I definitely think the two main characters are they do the lovable idiots very well, I want to say.
Yeah.
Almost like Miguel and Tulio from Road to El Dorado. But they're not like smart. They're
not Spanish.
They're not Spanish. They're not incredibly intellectual, and they're not like charismatic. They just kind of exist as the Beavis and Butthead characters. Everyone else, I feel like, for me at least, falls in just a stereotype. I don't know. Like, there's not much characterization to them, for the characters at least. Like Rhonda a little bit, but everyone else is like, I'm the Doomsday Prepper. Well, I'm Reba McEntire, the Doomsday Prepper's wife. I'm the little girl, and I hop on a pogo stick. I'm the little shithead boy around. Well, I'm the Mexican guy. I'm the Asian guy that runs the market. I'm Nestor. But, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're just simple, but I think it works because you're not really trying to spend the whole movie the motivations of Miguel is immaculate. No, you just want to see fucking pieces of shit get gobbled up, right? Is that just me?
I like
for sure.
pogo stick.
I mean, for me, it almost reminded me of like the Goonies. Like, you got a big squad happening. You can't like get too deep into characterization for all of them, so you just make your archetypes: the fat kid, the smart one, the loudmouth, that sort of
fat.
Thing.
Mm-hmm. Melvin.
Yeah, Melvin. Yeah, definitely. But overall, I definitely think also, like the two main people, you just find them lovable, even though they're kind of silly, right? They're not like the Stooges dumb. They're just not put together. Like, I don't know how to say it. Is that the best way? They're not put together?
Well, they're not well learned because they're simple folk out in the middle of nowhere deserts.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say necessarily that they're dumber than the average bear. They just have an accent, so
They're just not doing it as much cocaine.
Well, I think it's implied that they are. I know it kind of just
doing cocaine.
Yeah.
well, no, they're doing cocaine. That they're not the smartest of everyone in the town. I know at one point the doomsday prepper Bert calls them like two fuck ups or something, and then they're like, man, it's because we're not doing this, and they had the whole thing where all this sewer shit, sump pump, like gets all over them or whatever, and it's all like,
yeah, but they rented that from the store owner.
They did?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. It was,
well,
what was the store owner's name? It was like Sal, and then
no, it was Walter.
Yep.
yeah, and then the septic pump thing was like a rent-a-walt or something.
Yeah, or something the other.
Yeah.
I think the movie, like Trey said, it is dated. The effects are dated, but they're not terrible. It's like,
No.
how like you watch Jaws, you're like, that's obviously not a real shark, but there's no other better way to do it besides doing it in modern day with really advanced CG technology. But
Yeah.
when this movie was made back in 1986, they're not going to make
93.
it. 93? No way.
I'm pretty sure 93.
Jaws?
No.
Okay, so
Tremors.
1990
Tremors was
was
90.
split the difference.
Yeah.
They obviously didn't have good CG, and it would have looked like the 1984 Dune. It would have looked like ass.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Right.
luckily this didn't really need a lot of I feel like a lot of it, I don't know for sure, but it looked very like practical effects.
Yeah,
like, we
everything
can
was
knock over
practical.
buildings. That's easy.
Right. Just little explosions and
I
stuff.
killed
I'm
a
just
little girl while doing it.
I could tackle that little girl at full force off her pogo stick for no reason. That's no big deal. We don't have to edit that in.
yeah.
I can't wait for it to be revealed that this was like a Homeward Bound situation where they were just like burning through little girls recording this movie.
That would be pretty great. Fucking what was it? What was that? Mindy? What was her name? I
Mindy,
think?
the girl from Jurassic
Mindy's
Park.
nuts. She's only 44 years old now.
The
Wow.
girl from Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
Just
she
like
is. And the Lost World
And Tremors
and Prancer.
2. Anywho, enough about Jurassic Park girl.
Battle
Like
Dogs.
Jurassic Park.
Nice.
All right, that's enough.
Here's a
done
little
here.
fun fact for you. I know we like a good fun fact around here.
Oh, I have one too.
Michael Gross, the guy who plays the prepper Bert,
Yeah.
he is the only actor to have appeared in all 7 Tremors movies.
There's 7?
Yeah.
One
there's
just came out
there's
in
a lot of them.
2020.
Yeah.
I thought there was
it's
only
insane.
2.
No, cause like I think it was supposed to be a weird foreshadowing because when I think it's the first one they blow up, they do a weird zoom in on it and it looks like there's some what I assume to be eggs, and I think that's
thought that
their
was,
little.
like,
stuff,
I could be wrong. Again, dated, so it could have just looked weird. Yeah, Jobe.
Dated. That's a creative choice. That isn't.
No.
Oh, too bad we don't have CGI.
No,
Guess
I'm
we
just
gotta throw these water balloons.
No,
on here.
I'm just saying. I didn't know if that was just like some random part of the design they had, or if it was actually intentionally like eggs, and it's hard to tell.
I just don't think there's. Anyway, so later on, there's various types of graboids in the later movies, including ones called the ass blasters.
That's so cool.
Because they're like these little bird things, but instead of flapping their wings, they just hold them out and then fart, and it's like a jet stream.
I'm really shout out to Jetstream. I love that they went Transformers. I've been seeing a lot of Transformers memes lately. I love that. I love that they did go the direction that Evil Dead went, though, where they're just like, this is a horror movie. This is scary. Think about big worms, and everybody's like, ah ha ha, so stupid. And they're like, yeah, you're right. We'll just make it funny.
It's definitely a horror comedy. I mean, like we said, it's
Kind of.
barely horror.
Yeah.
It's just suspenseful in certain points. I mean, I think it's more of the idea. It's like the Dune thing, right? It's like if you're walking on the desert in the sand, right? There could just be a worm at like any point, and there's nothing you can do besides
Yeah.
just take off, right?
Yep.
But it's a little downplayed here because obviously they can like go and jump on a rock or fucking shoot it with a goddamn elephant gun, which shouldn't work. It's not an elephant. But
Right?
It's weak against worm types.
You're so wise, Joe.
Thank you. What?
So my fun fact was Finn Carter, the lady who played Rhonda LeBeck, our seismologist, was arrested in Las Vegas on stolen vehicle charges in 2019. So that's pretty cool.
So she's been on the up and up
Yeah.
since Tremors.
She's been doing great.
She didn't make her millions off of Tremors.
Or Tremors 2, the Tremoring. I don't know if she's in Tremors 2. I didn't look.
I think she's in Tremors too.
I would assume, but like, I'm not
Alright.
gonna assume. You know what I mean?
Of this cast, Kevin Bacon, man, he's just fantastic.
He-
in this one.
I for a second like looked at that and I was like, man, he must have been like so much younger when he did Footloose because he looks old in this. And then I looked at they're not that far apart when they came out, and I assume that they probably were filming around the same time. It was only a 6-year difference, and I'm like, man,
6 years.
yeah. And I'm like, man,
a lot
that's a long
happens in
time.
6
Nah,
years. Trish.
not really. In terms of
Yes.
look, I know in
Filming
terms
at
of
the same
looks,
time.
I don't know. That was because I
I think
didn't.
it took
That's
6 years in
that's
the editing
because-
room to get Tremors out.
Yes. No, that's because I'm an idiot and didn't know when Footloose came out. I thought it was in like 93 or something. But no, it made me realize how old he looks in Footloose. And I'm like,
Well,
that-
I
Oh
think-
yeah, he does
especially
not pass for high school.
No.
In Footloose, they're just like, hey man, do you look like a high schooler? And you're like,
No.
yeah. And they're like, fuck it, count it, ship
he,
it.
he was what 30
He
years
was
old in
32. He was 32 when he did Tremors, and then he was
26.
Yeah.
26 when he did
Yeah.
Footloose.
So that's
So
he
he was
ages
a really
well as a
old high
person though.
schooler.
Like he's old, but he ages well as a person. He still doesn't look that bad for 65.
How old was he in R.I.P.D.?
Oh
that.
God,
Old. Final
16.
answer.
50.
That's
Yeah.
not bad.
So what do y'all think about the town of Perfection Valley?
Perfection?
It's too small. I feel like they need to expand.
Well, I think
Like,
it is too small because it's in the middle of the fucking desert.
If they
Trace.
put a Casey's gas station in there, I think they could go real far.
I will say.
So, you're right. Sorry, Marshall. Casey's General Store. My bad.
You're right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Things just move a little bit differently out here in the Heartland.
It's true.
That was the Casey's had around for a while.
Was it really? I don't
Um,
know. I don't know the Midwest lore. I was only there for like
That's fine. Hit us with an HEB line.
Beep beep.
here. Everything's better, bitch.
Let's go.
What was it? No, what was ours before you knew what it was?
Herbert, Burbert.
Oh wait, no, I didn't know what it was. Jobe was like, "Hey, what's HEB stand for?" I said something stupid, and he's like, "Here, everything's better." And I went, "Nah, that's dumb. I like mine better." And he's like, "That's just what it is."
Oh man, if only we could remember Trace's joke.
I don't know, man. Hey, you know what? It was really funny. Madison had a laugh track. It was funny. I remember that.
Oh, Madison, dub in a joke, and we'll act like Trace
Yeah.
said it.
Okay, yeah, everyone be quiet.
Oh,
Let the joke. Everyone be quiet. Let the joke
All right.
play.
Okay.
Ha, 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 ha.
So good.
That's
oh
a
my-
good one.
Thanks.
God damn, Trace, you're sexy.
Oh
I
my!
just like-
Edit the
don't you know-
movie.
Don't you know your lovely wife, the editor, edits this?
You wife.
She's gonna hear you saying that, bro.
Yeah, probably.
Oh.
I don't know. I just like in this movie that it just starts going. You know, we have very little exposition. Like we roll up. We got two cats just fucking hanging out, just being shitheads, right? And the one lady's like, "You seen them Tremors? Is someone blasting?" And that's just the first indication something's wrong. And they just go about a little bit, and then just people start getting eaten like immediately. It doesn't. It doesn't take, an hour and a half to get anywhere. The movie's only like an hour and 40 minutes or something like that. It's
36.
Yeah,
an hour 36. Yeah, it's not very long. So they have to hit the ground running, you know what I'm saying? Like the first guy dies within what? 10 minutes maybe? And then they just start
Probably.
it would be the
Are you talking about the guy up in the tower?
I guess
Or was he
the
We
first guy
find him
to
dead, but he's not like
the
voided.
first death on screen is the sheep guy, but we see a worm before that, not fully, but we see like the camera view of it while the seismologist is looking at her shit. But like it just starts getting, and everyone makes, I feel like, smart decisions for the most part. I think the seismologist comes in, she's like, look, based on all the graphs I have, there's 3 more of these bitches. They're definitely moving this way, so we gotta get to solid ground. And everyone's like, all right, we have a plan, let's figure it out. One thing I really,
we have Gatorade, we got carrot sticks.
Ooh,
that's it.
that's
One
good.
thing I thought that they were going to do is they were going to kill the Doomsday Prepper and be like, oh no, even the Doomsday Prepper can't survive the worms. But they're like, no, fuck you. Doomsday Prepper, they planned for this. They're going to just start unloading. Bang, 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 boom, 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 boom. Pow, 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 pow. Magazine. Boom, 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 boom.
That
And
is
then they start
about
making
40 minutes
fucking-
of the movie.
And then they start making pipe bombs.
I do love that when they're pulling away from the prepper's house, he's just going through his head like all the things he did right: food, water, weapons. They came from underground, those sons of bitches.
Okay, but
Which,
when they're pulling away though in the big tanker, he's doing that thing where he's like, "Hey, sweetie, what do you think? We going for penetration, or we going for overall power?" And he's like holding up 2 guns, and she's like, "Go for that one. It's more penetration to the shell." And he's like, "Yeah, you're right." Throws that one in, and the other one's not seen. But then he just goes back and gets a bunch of other shit and is throwing it in. I assume he just brought both guns. After going,
Yeah, but what's,
well, I can't
what's his
leave
everyday
both.
carry, you know? Like,
That's true.
You have your work car, and then you have your fun car, right? So he's got the gun for worms and then the gun for fun.
Why are you worrying about it if you're gonna bring both? Well, I'm bringing both, but I need to know what my primary loadout is. I got one penetration, I got my Desert Eagle. Although I will say, for Doomsday Preppers, you're telling me you don't have like 1 grenade just ready?
But they knew how to make pipe bombs.
They knew how to make pipe bombs, but I'm just saying, like, when it was in the basement and it broke through and they're just fucking unloading weapon after weapon into this thing, I was expecting to just be like, oh, look at that.
See,
and then they're gonna be like, hey.
That's the wrong kind of thinking, Trace, because what if an explosion goes off by your bunker and sets off the grenade? You don't want to have a grenade there to blow up.
I do.
You want to be able to make a grenade or a pipe bomb in this case in any sort of scenario.
I mean, that does happen, though. The fucking worm throws a pipe bomb on like 60 other pipe bombs, and then they all blow up.
That's why they shouldn't have grenades,
which is unrealistic.
With pipe bombs,
that would have destroyed that rock, and they'd have all been dead.
No, they were just little baby guys.
Oh, that's true.
He had like a bunch of like those big old pixie sticks. It's like that.
Oh,
you know,
big
ones,
yeah.
And then he had a bunch of those little baby guys.
True. I want like one of those, like the thickness of those big boys, but just like real small ones. Just
I
enough
feel
for a
like
hit.
Kevin Bacon, he moves like he does, but he also makes some very unnecessary movements. The one I'm mainly thinking of is his behind the counter, and then he decides to jump over the counter to go and rip a map off the wall.
Well,
mind you, when he's behind the counter, he's at the edge of it. He just has to walk around. He's not going to do anything saving those extra 2 seconds.
Well, it's only been 6 years since Footloose. He's still dancing.
Also, they're talking about like, we got to be careful. If we're too loud, they'll be able to hear us. What are we going to do then? And then Kevin Bacon's over there. Damn it, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Like, okay, Kevin, read the room.
Or when the little refrigerator thing on the ground starts going off and he just jumps on top of it.
It
looked like ripping the soda cans in front of the machine.
I was so
Bullet bird.
I was so
Bullet bird.
confused by his portion of that because he jumps on top of it and then Earl and the other guy like reaching back to try to grab the thing. I thought for a second he was trying to apply his weight so it wouldn't shake anymore.
Oh, I knew he was trying to like reach behind it to pull it out, but then like it's against the wall, so like why don't you just pull it back and just go?
Why aren't y'all pulling it back? Well, there's about 180 more pounds on top now. We got to pull that back.
Probably the funniest one we've watched.
Maybe. I don't know. I'll have to go back and look at all of the ones we've watched.
Actually, I take it back. Army of Darkness. Still,
that's
but
that's still the funniest.
This one is up there, though.
You're saying this is funnier than Monster House?
Yes.
Dude, it's a girl house.
High praise.
The biggest foreshadowing of the movie.
I'm just saying, like, for example, we have this whole arc of this fucking kid Melvin, right? He keeps asking
Melvin.
for a gun,
Melvin do?
and then
Scooby.
Ooh.
So Melvin keeps asking for a gun, like, throughout this movie.
Hell
and
yeah.
then we're nearing the climax, and he's like, "I'm scared to run." And then
Bert.
What's his name? Bert is like, "Well, here you go, sport. This will make you feel a little braver." And he hands him a revolver. And then they're running, and Melvin sees one of the worms. He's like, "Ah!" And he tries to shoot it, but then he goes, "Click, click." And it's like, "You son of a bitch!"
That was
Bert's
pretty
like,
good.
I got you to run, didn't it?
I got you on your feet, boy.
How many of
That's
you?
good.
So
Thanks.
part of Melvin's character is he's a little pranky guy. He makes fun pranks. He does he's a piece of shit, right?
He is.
And so he's at this point he had done like a couple of oh no the worms got me, and they come around the corner and they're like haha the worm didn't get me. I was really hoping they would just beat the shit out of him.
He almost
Not gonna
did.
lie.
Boy
But-
Who Cried Worm.
But then he definitely boy who cried worm.
Oh wait, that's good actually. I'm gonna write that down.
All right, everyone pause while Trace writes.
BOI who ate worm. I almost put wolf.
Okay, so he cried worm, and then they go out there and like, we're gonna beat his ass. Oh, I'm joining you. Let's go kick his fucking ass, Melvin. Let's go kick Melvin's ass. And they get out there, Melvin's like up a flagpole or whatever,
Skinned his
like
knee.
got his fucking butthole eaten out by a worm or something, and they're like, oh no, Melvin!
He's a boy,
Gonna
please.
get you.
I'm gonna kill you.
Well,
That's
man,
the-
there's worms.
That's the collective.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying it at the same time.
No.
Because it's there's the
What I imagine
Mexican, there's the
Brownie's
deep
dad
voice,
sounds like.
there's the Asian, there's the high ladies' voices, and everyone else is kind of in there. So they all jumble together to make.
I do like the weird southern accent in here though, because they do it in that way that like every word sounds really fancy and intricate, because they're like, well, how are we gonna get him over here? Well, we need to distract him somehow so we can go get him over here, so that they'll come over here and they can do that stuff over there. And he's like, what, you mean like some kind of decoy? And I'm just like, I feel like we've heard
Which is
these
weird.
words before, but you
'Cause
sound
this
like it's a
place
brand
takes
new
place-
thing.
This takes place in Nevada, which isn't like a southern state. I feel like Like it's not like in my mind. I don't think
It
Nevada
wasn't
is
like part of the Confederate.
Yeah, it's not
South.
Yeah, I don't think of it as like a southern
existed then.
state. Like I barely
But
consider
I feel like-
Missouri a southern state. Like
It's,
That's Midwest.
I think it's more so just when you get up in the mountains.
Yeah, it's that desert.
Get
It's
that.
that desert speak.
You start to get that rocky
Yeah,
ear
and it's called Nevada.
yeah. What the fuck's Nevada?
Yeah, you have to get with. Sorry, we're not all cool and British like Marshall.
I don't know what to say, man. I just come on here, try to make a few jokes, talk about a movie.
Name one joke you've made.
Yeah.
this
I don't
episode.
know. That's why I'm still
Exactly.
trying.
God damn.
Well, why
Say-
don't you think of a good joke while we take our patented
Make a
half
comment about the
break?
dune worms.
Say boss fights are an outdated concept.
Bosses are an outdated concept. Your idea.
Al-Gaib.
I'm not gonna lie. I saw this and I saw the purple of this little firework here, and I thought it was a
You
great.
mean great.
I did. I was like, wow. When
Oh.
did fruit punch get grapey?
Yeah. And welcome back, everyone. From
And
our
clap.
Friday
So anyway,
You know, I'm trying to think of like
a single joke I've made. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure that out.
me too. I'm gonna have to
You laughed.
listen
Count
to
it.
this.
Write it down.
That's not a joke.
Bang.
it's not a joke. That's
That's
a gag.
self-deprecating. That's self-defecating.
So you're trying to think of what, Jobe?
I was trying to think of issues or problems I have with this movie. I think it's just one of those things where, like, I don't know, it doesn't do anything too ambitious. Like, I mean, the effects work, I think, is really good throughout this movie.
It was revolutionary for its time.
The only thing is, like, it's one of those things where it's like you can tell it's not real, but it doesn't look really fake. If that's like you know what I'm saying? It's not like Uncanny Valley because that's like a CGI thing, but it's like you can tell that okay, this is like a puppet.
I mean,
or
Uncanny
whatever.
Valley can exist outside of computers.
No.
Like in the mountains between two of them, like a valley.
Yeah.
Like a Perfection Valley.
It does exist. Those are where the worms are at.
Worms.
The worms going to cycles.
The only, for me, I guess, the only thing I could see being an issue is if you went into this thinking it was going to be like a serious horror film. But like from what, like I had Googled it before and I saw like horror comedy and it kind of just seemed lighthearted from everything, like the short excerpts or whatever I read. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of like a Cocaine Bear situation, right? So
Yeah,
I was kind of prepared for it, but like imagine if you went into this or Cocaine Bear expecting like a really, intense horror movie, right? You'd be like, eh.
Yeah.
But I don't know how
It's
the
called
marketing
watching
was.
trailers.
Well, I don't know how
I
the
would
marketing
never.
was. It's all about marketing.
They didn't have any in 90s.
I've got yeah, they did. Don't fuck.
No.
I was born in the 90s. You were
Name
born
what-
in 97.
Name one market in the 90s.
Woolworths.
Who?
Fake.
You mean those little
Just like your shitty fluoride water.
You mean those
No,
butterscotch
that was
candies?
real.
It was real. It was
Real.
Yo, comment below if you remember fluoride water with the nasty nipple.
or if you just weren't rich enough, I guess. Water that cleans your teeth. Brought to you by fluoride.
Photo.
Rich people, for when you want to drink water instead of brushing your teeth.
Fluoride's not
I mean, they
for
put fluoride
cleaning,
in
it's
the
for
tap
protection.
Then how come people were getting pregnant
Because they're probably fucking Trace.
with protection?
Damn.
Trace trying to think back to a time he saw his mom and his dad fuck. No, that never happened.
Fluoride kills sperm count. Stop
Well,
drinking
you don't let
it.
your dick drink it.
I soak my balls in fluoride. What am I supposed to do?
Not
What are
that.
you talking about?
Anybody remember that bit going
Went
on
to
where
the
you?
dentist. They said, "You want a fluoride dip?" And you said, "Yeah, baby."
Anybody else remember when people were like, "Hey, if you dip your balls in X, Y, or Z, you can taste it"?
No, it's just if you can dip
Yeah.
your balls in something spicy, you can feel the spice level. And I'm like, I feel like that's just a lot of steps to tell someone to put your balls in hot sauce.
Okay, but actually, I
How
heard
spicy
somewhere,
is that? 1 second.
I bet you did.
Zip.
I heard somewhere that dipping your balls in cinnamon oil will actually up your libido a little bit because it raises the temperature a bit.
This is either getting all cut out or it's all going to be left in. One or the other.
This is either gonna be
You
edited
can say that
or
about any
not.
part of this episode.
No, because the beginning's getting left in. I know that for sure.
This episode's either gonna get released or it's not.
Or we're going to be eaten by the Dune worm. And I kept thinking throughout this whole movie, and I'm like, they're just not. They're not sand
That
watching.
was
They
me.
have to because they keep talking about this movie, right? The whole deal is like they can't walk on the ground because they're causing vibrations, which is what the worms use. Which got me thinking is when I texted you, I was like, God, this is just Dune 2, right? Because in Dune 2, they have to match the rhythm of the desert, not to alert the worms.
rhythms of the
So they got to do the sand walk, and they sand walk.
Good girl.
What's sandwalk?
That's a dog.
It's a kind of
like-
walk.
It's like
I don't know how to
moonwalk.
describe it. It's
Marshall, why don't
Yo.
you give me an
Yeah.
example?
It's like moonwalking, but in the desert. Is the
I was
moon
thinking-
the moon's a desert, right? Like by
Moon's-
definition.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't get much rainfall.
Nah.
I know the
They
big
need
part
more-
is they
they
gotta
need
hit
more
one of
rain.
these, and then another one of these.
Oh,
and then,
yeah,
one of
yeah.
these,
No, he's
and
right. I
like,
remember
I mean, he kind of does that when the one's pecking at his leg.
No, he's just not moving, and he's dodging it. He's bobbing. and
Okay,
weaving,
no,
Oz.
that's dumb. That's so dumb, though. I
That's
hate
Trace.
that.
All right, you know
Shut
what?
up!
I'll give you that one.
No,
What?
it's
Which one?
it's
me
just
or, me or Trace.
yeah. Wait,
Yeah,
wait.
why are you yelling at me? I'm on your side.
Yeah,
Whose
Marshall.
side?
I was yelling at Marshall
Why are you yelling at me?
All right.
because you were like, that's what you sound like.
Yeah.
So I told you,
Remember?
shut up.
You got such a deep
No.
baritone
it's-
voice, Trace.
Thanks.
Did you do show choir? You dumb slut.
Yeah, I did. Ooh, we're gonna make fun of me
Give
for
us
being
a
a performer.
routine.
Oh, Jobe was a
Give us a
performer.
routine.
That's how he made it big, folks.
That's why I was dance
For those of
captain.
you listening and not watching, Trace jerked off 2 penises.
Fuck, I did that. Well, that's show choir for you.
Now Marshall is also jerking off 2 penises.
It's a new trend. I started.
So Trace was about to make a funny point or something.
Oh, it
and I
wasn't
said,
funny.
"I'm
I just thought it was stupid when Kevin Bacon did his little foot shuffle because if they could feel the vibrations, they'd feel him moving because movement causes innate vibrations in the body.
Nah, he just didn't move his other leg.
Well, it's dumb though. Why can they feel vibrations when they're like barely walking
It's
around?
basketball rules.
No.
He didn't change his pivot foot, dog. It's not a
Yeah,
travel.
he's allowed a pivot foot.
He's right there. We gotta get him. Yeah, but he didn't move his foot yet. We have to.
They didn't know where he was.
He needs to
Yeah.
like move his other foot,
No,
and
it's
then
not
he's
that
free.
they're
And then he's free
following the
game.
rules.
Yeah, but I
They
really
can
want to
only
eat him.
hear
I'm just
someone who's
hungry.
traveling.
I'm
That's why the one
hungry.
kid didn't get eaten because he
I
was
want
dribbling a basketball.
I want footloose boy. Yeah, but his foot, only one foot is loose right now.
They
That
don't
was my
know.
that was my
They don't
rendition
know
of
Trace-
the words.
No, Trace, why don't you do this bit for the rest of the episode? We got what 20 minutes still. Go on.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, it's so bad already. Oh,
This is the part where they're done talking and they're waiting.
who's talking to
The worms.
you? They don't talk.
Yeah, not in a language we understand because we're simple humans.
I'm not.
So,
simple.
like-
I'm complex.
Haven't you seen a bee talk to another bee? They dance. Just like Footloose guy,
That's
Kevin
not
Bacon.
talking. That's just
Fellas.
communication.
I keep wanting to say Kenny Loggins.
Kenny Loggins is completely different from Kevin Bacon.
No, it's not. He's the same.
All right, we got.
He
far
sings
off track here.
Footloose. And
Hey,
Kevin
Marshall.
Bacon's in Footloose. He also sings
Yes,
I'm Free, which is a
Joe.
great song.
In your own words, please describe the theme or themes of Tremors 1993.
Man versus nature.
The
Yeah.
themes of
Man versus
the
man.
1990 film
Yup.
Tremors were about learning to fucking walk on rocks and believe in oneself, work as a group, problem solve.
Oh, he's
This will be explained in the rest of my stuff because that was a thesis statement.
I feel like he's reading off of something. the cadence of his
Like you-
voice.
He had this pre-planned. He knew I would ask him some English.
Paragraph
The
one.
literary elements of Tremor is worm.
Man versus nature. What is nature? Who is man? These are the questions we must ask ourselves. The humans, the people reading, the people writing, maybe. Who knows? In this case, anyways, nature, it's the worms. Even if we can say that they are not natural, they're definitely things that exist in nature. They are outside forces directly going against our protagonist. Who's our protagonist? I feel like in this case, it's all the townspeople as a collective group.
Nope.
I feel you might have a differing opinion, the greater, but that might be wrong.
Wait, what'd you just call me?
I'm
The greater. This is obviously
yeah, you're the one who
an
grades.
essay.
Also, I'm pretty
I
sure.
thought you were calling me degrader.
Yeah.
Like, all I do is degrade.
That makes
All
sense.
I do is win. no
Also, I
matter.
think
but
human
definitely
versus
man
supernatural is also a literary element, I think.
Probably not. I think that just
Nah, it
falls under
exists.
man versus stuff.
No, I love that one.
I mean, I did.
I feel like it's just man
Okay.
versus man versus self, and then man versus
No.
nature, where it's the person versus other people.
Nah, man versus
People-
supernatural.
I feel like that's just a subgenre of like man versus
It's its
man
own
or man
literary
versus
element.
nature.
No, because it's been used forever, and a common thing of it example is Homer's Odyssey, because he's constantly up against the supernatural. I would say
Which happens in
the-
nature.
Versus world.
I would say these large worms
Waddle.
could be both nature and supernature, or supernatural.
But like that
Nah.
just still falls under man versus nature. or
Nah,
man
but it's
versus
different.
person.
They're next to each other. They're
All right.
cousins.
Let's record this next part fast. I got a shit.
Okay.
Job, you were a English major. Who's right? If you say Trace,
It's
Just think
they
about
just both exist.
but like I feel like it's like here's the big
Listen.
three, and then supernatural falls down here, right? It's
I
down
don't
here.
think I don't think there's a
I
big
took
three. of them.
playwriting and poetry. The most
Anyway.
analytical I got was looking at Shakespeare.
So good. you just left such a good pause there of saying I did.
You're like, that's your opinion. And you go, well, I took playwriting and analytical writing.
and poetry. So anyway,
Well, I'm just saying, like, I wasn't analyzing every text going,
No, it just-
yes, I will now learn every conflict.
it just,
Sorry, guys, my bad. Sorry, my English minor.
it just sounded like you were done,
Anyway.
and that's why it was funny.
I just feel like man versus supernatural is definitely very similar to man versus nature. Trace, you might say
There are
things.
7 types of conflict in literature: person versus self, person versus person, person versus society, person versus nature, person versus machine, person versus supernatural,
Machine.
person versus destiny or fate. There's 7. That's those. I win.
What about man versus author or man versus God?
Those come later. That's the DLC.
What the hell? Anyway,
So, but like, I'm
this
just
is no
saying.
vivarium, I'll tell you
Let's
that.
say your
gross, thank God,
supernatural
too.
entity is like a giant regular
worm.
bear, a big bear. A bear is
Some
found in
cocaine.
nature, is it not?
Okay, but what are we talking about when you say bigger bear? Because if a bear is this size and the bear you're talking about is this size, that's not.
Those are both small.
No,
That's the size of your head, Trace.
Trace, that's a
I'm
terrible
gonna
bear
do it.
size.
I'm about to do it. I'm this close.
don't.
I'm this close. It's gonna
Oh,
happen.
you'll ruin the trip.
This close. I'm gonna squish Marshall's head. I'm gonna squish the
Okay, here,
alien.
here.
Yeah,
Job has
Job.
the shit. What do you want, Job?
Mr. Griffin, would it still be man versus supernatural if
Yes.
hypothetically Val and Earl hopped on a time machine and went back to the fucking Cretaceous period where there were giant worms?
No, I think that would be. I feel like that should be considered nature at that point because it's something like occurring naturally. This is something not really occurring. No, they're not occurring naturally because these are not
Maybe
regular
they were
worms. You're-
frozen in a glacier, but then
were
the
just
rise.
hiding
Okay,
out
okay.
underground.
So we had big fucking ants back in the day that were like the size of a fucking lion. Are you
is
telling
like
me
the size of a worm.
are you telling
Big
me if
worms,
one of those
that's where I
walks?
draw the fucking line.
If you're telling me
no
a
way
little
that the
baby
Earth-
ant, a regular size ant, was walking next to lion size ant, and they're both walking towards you, you'd be like, "That's right. That's natural. That happens."
No, I'd be like, ants.
Supernatural ant.
But you
I'm
just
not saying
said
supernatural
exist.
ants. I'm
It's
just saying
supernatural
big
to
ant.
us.
I haven't seen an ant that big since my last family reunion.
I'm just saying.
Don't do
Trace
Val
is
like
wrong.
that.
I'm right. I
No.
definitely feel like there's only
No.
3.
No, that part of the argument you are just wrong. The other one, debatable. because they're both
they all
natural
fit
and
under another
supernatural.
one.
They're
They're all just different flavors.
well, to be okay, so let's do this. Person versus self because we're all worms. Person versus person because I can see myself in the worm. Person versus
I'm
society
not a
because
worm.
there's 3 or 4 worms, and so that's enough. Person versus nature because worms. Person versus machine because they're working as one well-oiled machine.
This
They're
is
worms.
the dumbest argument.
Yeah,
I've
Marshall,
ever been a-
that's for
Okay.
you.
Why is there such a difference between person versus person and person versus machine? What if he's the Terminator? Half man, half machine.
That's
Is
what
he
I'm
both?
saying. Yes, it can be.
No, I'm just saying person versus person is whoever
about
the
the,
character is and whoever the antagonist is. Just
What's that
twos.
thing from Warhammer? The
40Ks.
The
Messiah.
Omnissiah? The machine
Yeah.
god?
Yeah,
That's not right.
that's
You're not thinking of the
pretty-
right thing.
Yeah,
No.
Jobe.
No, I am. Yeah, no, I am.
Oh, wait, never mind then.
No,
sorry.
No,
okay.
wait.
Okay.
Hold on. Yeah, I am.
Oh, okay.
I'm just
So-
saying, if Hercules is fighting supernatural creatures such as the Fates, that would be person versus supernatural
Man
and
versus
person
fate.
versus fate.
No.
It's right there in the name.
No, but
It's man
Hercules
versus fate.
himself is a supernatural entity.
Yeah, but
So
he's also a
wouldn't that just be
person because he's a
versus
demigod.
person? Because if they're both supernatural, then
But
everybody's
it's not
Well,
supernatural.
because-
That's just how their world works.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's just person versus person. There's no person versus supernatural. Trace is wrong again.
No, I'm
Two for
not.
two,
Because he's
baby.
also a person. So it'd be supernatural versus supernatural, supernatural versus fate, and person versus supernatural, person versus fate, because they're the same thing.
Put down in the comments below who's
I'm
the
right.
most dumb in this episode.
Marshall may have been to school more recently because he's a little boy, but I'm right.
Finished school too.
Yeah, so I did too,
Zinger.
just not as many as you did. And you did it for finance.
Yeah,
Man
cool.
versus
I don't need a hairline
money.
like yours.
Al, be born Mexican, little boy.
Yeah, Job, get on that.
The only problem is now I have to kill one of my parents.
Oh shit.
In their
Why?
Hey, if you
place
could kill
them
one
with-
of your parents, Joe, which one would it be right now?
Yeah. They don't
Don't
listen
tell
to
me.
they don't listen to this. It's fine.
I'd
They
kill
do.
my brother.
He said he'd kill his brother.
I kill myself. I can't make
Aww.
this choice. I ruined the trip.
Oh,
You ruined the trip.
Anyway,
Job, okay,
Oh.
for the audience, when Job takes a shit, it's a 2-hour ordeal.
Yes.
This is not a joke.
it's not.
This is like serious. I've
it is
lived
a
with
joke. I've never shit for 2 hours. I don't think I've ever shit
you
for an
you
hour.
you
it. You definitely have.
definitely have. You've at least been in look,
Name
I
one.
don't
Name
I
one.
number one.
Name
February
Number one.
19th,
Number
2022,
two.
you took a 2-hour and shit.
Look,
That's
I'm-
just not true.
I don't
I
know
never
that Job is
shit in
shitting the whole
February. It's no
time,
shit
but he's
February.
in the bathroom
It's no
for
feast
like
in
6
February.
hours. I shared a bathroom with him, and I'm like, man, I got to shower, but Job just went in there, so I got to shower in about 16 days.
Look,
Madison,
sure. Sometimes I'll hop in the shower after I
has Job
shit.
ever taken an
and sure.
hour-long shit?
I remember Madison getting
Don't ask Madison. She's
Matt,
biased.
I remember Madison getting mad at me because I had to go to the bathroom upstairs in your guys' area because Job was taking too long and I was not having a good day.
Okay, my name's Marshall. I give
Wait,
Tremors.
we still got like 10 minutes to fill here, I think.
Oh, I'm gonna. Never mind.
Hold on,
I'm
let
gonna
me
say
check.
that.
Okay, yeah, I guess we can start wrapping it up.
No, we got another 10 minutes.
Well, okay.
I'm gonna do something.
What are you gonna do? Hold on, Joe. Pause. Trace, do something.
Something drastic.
It's gonna be big.
Something drastic
that I
don't want to do, but you have forced my hand.
You have forced my head, and now we will woo the galaxy as
Just
fun and
imagine
fun.
you're a puppeteer. You're playing one of the worms. You in the script. You're just getting referred to as the worm,
I need to put on my puppeteer hat.
right? And someone's yelling at you because
Thanks,
you're
Peta.
saying that it's man versus person or man versus nature, and he's saying something about supernatural. It's a whole thing.
Fucking first.
But all you know is you keep getting referred to as the stupid worm, and your buddy over there on the other side is just referred to as the smart worm. Because I love how there's just one worm that they're just like at the very end is, nah, this one's smart.
This
Fuck
one-
you. This guy went to college.
This one's way schmurder.
I mean, one of them literally killed himself by running into concrete.
Haven't we all?
Yeah. I ran up concrete once. Jobe was there, I smacked my head on the ground.
He ran up concrete until gravity, the cruel bitch, slammed him into the earth.
Once again,
Haven't done it
gravity
since.
has ruled the day.
True. He was traumatized after that.
Aren't we all?
Not even a kiss from our big friend Max could help.
Shout out.
My headache went away
Maxfield.
right after. He has
Shout out
Shout out
Maxfield's
Maxfield.
kisses.
I miss him every day. Shame he's
Yeah.
dead.
He phases in and out of reality at Ampo. We'd never know.
Well,
'Cause
he
he
has-
only talks to us through Telegram.
he's busy being a god in his alternate reality.
Okay, well, I give Tremors.
Overall-
No,
no, you can't. I go first.
Jobe
I go
movie, Jobe
first.
talk!
Job movie. Job's gonna say it's a 9 or some shit like that.
No, he's not giving this better than
Overall.
Vivarium. Which is objectively wrong. I should still add that Vivarium sucks and it should be a negative 3,000 because fuck that movie.
You need to get.
But it's not going to be higher than an 8. I know it
okay?
right now. It's going to be
Rey
like a
is the
6.
strongest Jedi.
Dude, she just
He's won the
isn't.
Super Bowl.
No, Taylor
And
Swift won the Super
Vivarium
Bowl.
is a good movie.
No, those are the 3 wrong. Those are the 3 conflicts of life. The big 3.
Man versus Chiefs. Man versus Rey. Man versus Vivarium. Those
Yeah.
are the major conflicts.
It's true.
All right.
Anyway,
Job, what's your score?
Overall, this one is just like I said. It doesn't do anything particularly ambitious in like the realm of storytelling or anything, and it's really not the scariest. But I think it's just as solid as hell. Super fun monster
Whoa.
movie with a lot of laughs, and I'm not gonna say a lot of heart, but there's some cute moments.
do
7
worms have?
out of 10. Yes, Marshall.
Hi. In case
5
you don't
hearts.
know, my name is Marshall.
Hi, Marshall.
Hey everyone. Objectively, Tremors, Big Man versus Nature movie. I give it a 7.12.
Ooh.
So, I would like to point out, I was gonna say that the movie does have a lot of heart because each worm has 5 hearts. Then I couldn't remember how many worms were in Tremor, so I looked it up. There are no
That's
worms in
4.
Tremor.
They're
Graboids.
They are they're described as vermiform or worm-like.
They're Graboids.
So there are no worms in Tremor. This is a wash. We're ending the episode. I gave it, what did I give it? I don't know, I'm gonna cry.
You gave it a 5.
I gave it a 5 out of 10. Jobe, what'd you say it was again?
Give it
said
a 7.
Oh, God.
Hey, thanks everyone for listening.
You're
you can catch us
welcome.
anywhere. We listen to podcasts in case for some reason your preferred method of listening to podcasts goes down in a ball of fire. You can easily find us somewhere else.
I know, I
Follow
can.
us on TikTok,
TikTok while you still can.
TikTok, Instagram,
Yeah.
YouTube. Catch
Yeah.
us there.
Catch us on the
Fucking hate
rye.
this guy. Next week we will be watching the movie called The Mist. The Mist is a Stephen King spielio. What does Spike Lee say when it's like a Spike Lee picture? Is that what it is or no?
Ooh,
Like, join.
Spike Lee joy. It's a Stephen King hullabaloo. So
Ooh, hubba
He didn't direct it, did he?
I don't know.
I
but
know,
it was
I
like-
did.
It's I think it was a novel.
It always
Yeah,
is.
but the movie
Directed
was
by
directed
Frank
by
Darabont.
Frank Darabont.
So not Stephen King, but it was a book like Goosebumps.
Oh shit,
so
it was. Oh, it's got Andre
everyone-
Brower in it.
this is Scare by Scare.
Oh,
signing
And
wow.
off.
Sam Witwer.
You'll have a good one.
That's really
Bye.
cool.
Say-
Best episode yet.
We'll
say bye.
we'll see you on the green.